Hey, how's everybody doing today? I hope you guys are having an amazing day as always. Just wanted to make a quick video from here in Munich, Germany. Having an amazing time. I'm sure a lot of you guys got a chance to see some of the things that I've posted, some of the small things in my life that I wanted to share. But time and time again, I've had several of our leaders come up to me and kind of ask to share a few words with the people that didn't make it. I think in about 12 months, we're all going to be visiting beautiful Kona, Hawaii, and I feel that everyone watching this video needs to be there. You deserve it. The people that you love deserve to be there with you as well. So I wanted to kind of share what I've done here in the last 8 months to create the success as a newcomer here with this opportunity. First and foremost, I definitely want to tell you guys a quick story, and then I'll end up with a couple of things that you can take and apply into your own life today to really help lead to the success that you want right now. So first and foremost, my story. I'm a young guy, just turned 31 years old. There's nothing super special about me. I think in the beginning of my career here at Lincoln Heritage, it was more talent than character. So unfortunately, my talent would get me to so many places that, again, unfortunately, my character could not keep me. So the work ethic wasn't there, right? I would go out for a few days, I'd do what we needed to do, create some success, but wasn't able to sustain that. What we have is a system in place. First and foremost, I want to add in that a quick story. Obviously, anytime that you see a turtle on a lamppost, obviously it didn't get there by itself. It took someone else to get them there. So it's been many great people: Keith Jukowski, Chad Lewis, of course, Bradley Jennings, Justin Howard, Troy Miles, Shannon. I mean, there's several different guys that I can mention, Big Tez McCree, that have all brought me to the place where I am right now. So oftentimes there's people that are around us that we may not appreciate that have already given us those little nuggets, given us those little keys to success that will propel us to the exact place we need to be. A lot of times in life, we will set a goal. Maybe it's not too high, but we'll set a goal and life is going to teach you some things, right? Over time, life is going to show you who you are. And if you set a goal, be ready to receive the distractions. Be ready to understand the fact that you will have to fight through some things to become the person you ultimately need to be to obtain that goal. So I've always known the information. I always knew what I wanted out of life. I wanted to have beautiful things. I wanted to be able to give a certain lifestyle to my family. And when I set that goal, I often say that this business will often show you who you are. And that's exactly what it did to me. It caused me to really take responsibility for myself, for the people I'm around, and for the things I'm doing on a daily basis. So the first thing I'd say is, what are your habits, right? I had to figure out on a daily basis, what was I doing, or the lack thereof, that was leading to or taking away my success. Some of the things that I had to take away were basketball. If you guys know me, I am a basketball fiend. I absolutely love it. Every chance I got, I was getting a deal and getting out of the field, right? So I could go and do what I love. Well, unfortunately, that was taking money from the people that I love. That was taking food out of my children's mouths. So I had to reevaluate what a priority was. I don't know if you guys have ever looked up the definition of a priority, but unfortunately, when the word first came out, a priority is only one thing. So I think it's really funny when people say, I need to prioritize my life. Well, unfortunately, a priority from the original meaning is one thing. So once you figure that out, that'll help you decide what actions need to follow. Another thing I needed to find out was, who am I surrounding myself with, right? Am I communicating with my upline on a daily basis? Am I trying to take everything that I possibly can in order for the good things to come out? A couple other things that I needed to do was set a schedule, right? We've already been provided with a system. We've already been provided with an incredible opportunity. What is your schedule on a daily basis? Unfortunately, a lot of us get bored with the mundane task of going out on a daily basis. All right, it's a grind. All right, you get bored after a while. But if you look at any successful CEO, if you look at any successful person, they did not dibble and dabble in different opportunities. They had that one thing that was a magnificent obsession that they stayed on until, right? So in this business, we're going to stay until we get to that next place, until we get to the peak. And guess what? The peak, it continues to rise. Success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. So what that means to you is it's a moving target. You're going to continue to move forward, and that just means growth, right? A couple of things I wanted to say to you guys that has really led me. A lot of people ask me about what my daily schedule is. It's very simple. I wake up at 5 a.m. I immediately break down and I pray. All right, I add in some meditation. I get to the gym and get my workout in. I'm usually in the field by at least 9 to 10 o'clock. If I'm traveling, I plan accordingly. Typically, I travel 2 to 3 hours a day. I leave the home a lot earlier, so that way I'm at my first house by 9 or 10 o'clock. I'm working until dark. My lovely wife-to-be, soon-to-be, Tierra Hall, I told her, I said, listen, babe, it's going to take 2 years, all right? It's going to take 2 years of possibly not seeing me at all, sacrificing a little bit right now so we can receive ultimately what we've talked about for a really long time. And maybe that's the conversation you need to have with your significant other. Maybe that's even the conversation you need to have with you, right? Set that expectation right now. Because I personally went to school for 4 years. I spent $32,000 a year to ultimately come out in debt. And a lot of the people that we have are working that 40 years, 40 hours a week to retire on 40% of something they can't even survive off of. Understand that we have a better way, and you must believe that. 3 things I want you to remember, and possibly write this down. Maybe even put it on your mirror so you see it every single day. It's called the law of compensation, right? It's immovable, right? You always will break down to this law, ultimately with whatever you're doing. If you're watching this video and you're not a part of our opportunity, I invite you to come in, see what we do, all right? But if you are a part of this opportunity, the first law of compensation is how good are you at what you do, right? First of all, is there a need for what you do? Obviously there is. If we're a part of what we do in our business, we know there is a huge need for the things we do on a daily basis. So that's number 1. Number 2 is how good are you at what you do? All right. How good are you at the presentation? How good are you at scheduling? How much are you committed to the opportunity? And number 3, how easy would it be to replace you? Right? So the guys that are the leaders, the people that are making the money, the big bucks, how hard would it be to replace a leader in our profession, right? A lot of people that are making $10 an hour, I know a lot of my friends, they talk about their opportunity as like a revolving door. People come in and out every day. Well, guess what? At $10 an hour, I can replace you with any Sam, Dick, or John, right? But at the end of the day, what I do, I'm compensated well for because I'm a professional. That's another thing I want you guys to remember. Become a professional, all right? The only difference between who you are today and who you ultimately will be 6 months to a year from now are the people you hang around and the books you read. What are you taking in on a daily basis? This book is Psycho-Cybernetics by Dr. Maxwell Martz. Amazing book. Talks about visualization, how to change who you are from the inside out. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. What to Say When You Speak to Yourself, all right, by Dr. Shad Helmstetter. That was one of the first books I read that really brought me to where I am. I want to close with a quick story. A lot of people have asked me to tell this story, and I think Chad got it on film before, but I wanted to go ahead and close with this because I think it speaks volumes about why I am where I am and possibly why you are in the position you are today. All right, so I don't know if you heard the story before, but there were 2 young men, right? Very, very young men. They were about 10 years old. It was the dead of winter, right? Winter break, they just wanted to have a good time. They wanted to go out and enjoy the weather, enjoy the ice, enjoy the snow, best of friends. They wanted to spend some time. So they were able to find a nearby pond, right? The pond was completely frozen over. But obviously, there were signs. And the sign said, do not skate, right? Do not get on the ice. Well, of course, us being bashful young men, just like anybody else, they decided to test it out. Test the waters, if you will. They got a chance to skate. They were having an amazing time. They were laughing. They were joking. They were fighting. Well, all of a sudden, one of the young men fell through the ice. Okay? He fell through the ice. The other young man, he panicked. He had absolutely no idea what to do. 10 years old, scrawny little guy, had no idea. He's baiting on the glass, right? Beating on the glass, trying to break through the glass. I mean, his best friend, you can see the life coming out of him. He's gasping for air. He's trying to find out how to get through this glass. But the more the other young man under the ice was under, the worse it was getting. He was going farther and farther from the place where he entered the water. Well, a few moments later, authorities arrived, right? After young man yelled and yelled, trying to get somebody to help him out, someone arrived, the police arrived, the emergencies arrived, the ambulance arrived, everybody got out there. But guess what? When they got there, the young man, he was holding his friend, right? He was holding his friend in his arms, and his friend was alive. He saved him, right? So the authorities looked, they couldn't figure it out because they looked at the hole in the water where the young man fell through, but there was another hole. And next to that hole was a huge branch, right? A branch the size or bigger than the young man that was holding his friend. So apparently he used that branch to break through the ice, but that had to be impossible, right? It had to be impossible because this young man did not have the capability in their eyes, that he did not have the strength to break through this thick ice, ultimately pull his friend out to safety. They were baffled. They couldn't figure it out. They asked among each other, I mean, how did it happen? How do you think he did it? How did he do it? Well, there was a bum that was standing very near, right? He didn't see what had happened, but he helped them out to understand how the young man did it. And do you want to know what he said? Guys, I'll tell you how he did it. The young man didn't have anyone there to tell him that he couldn't do it. So I want you to let that sink in, all right? Because ultimately in your life, someone has told you a lie about who you are, about what ultimately you deserve in your life, all right? I've seen Bugattis out here. I've seen Lamborghinis. I've seen beautiful cars. And in my mind, I believe that our Creator, or whoever it is that you believe in, created us all as a Bugatti, right? He made no mistakes. He created no Civics. He created no Camrys. He didn't say, oh, okay, well, you get the gifts and you don't. We all have what it takes inside of us to create the life that we ultimately want to have. So I would encourage you now, if you have not got with your upline, to decide what my goals are and the steps that I need to take to get to the next level, to get to Hawaii, to be able to shake this young man's hand and say, I got there, right? I want to see you all there. If you're not a part of our opportunity, take a second, inbox me now. I'd love to meet with you. I'd love to talk to you about what we do, ultimately how I can get you to the next level also in your life. And as always, I hope you all have an amazing day. Until next time, I'll see you later.